What's up, friends? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're well. So, you don't want to wear de Sauvage no more. You don't want to wear no Bleu de Chanel's. You just, nope. Well, today, I have 10 fragrances that are still going to be pretty easy to pull off, versatile scents, but they don't smell like those two. Sorry, Johnny Depp. Sorry, whoever does Bleu de Chanel. Chanel should really get like their Johnny Depp for Bleu de Chanel, I feel like. I'm not even sure who that would be, actually. Like, who would be a good Bleu de Chanel person, guy, dude? Bruce Campbell. They need to get Bruce Campbell.
Hail to the king, baby.
All the fragrances that I talked to you guys about here today are going to be linked in the description below. Let us begin with Prada Luna Rossa Carbon. Just playing. Sport. But Luna Rossa Carbon, yeah. That's for the dudes who say, I don't want to wear no more Dior Sauvage. It's too popular. I'm going to get Luna Rossa Carbon instead. Because I actually low-key really like the way it smells. But I just want to say that I'm being different. Ugh. So this is obviously the new Luna Rossa Sport style bottle, all decked out in red. Looks nice, felt, and modern. And thankfully, they kept this one around instead of O Sport, because O Sport, kind of sucked. I didn't even know where I was going with that one. That's pretty bad. So Luna Rossa Sport, very clean. Classy, easy to wear. It's got a touch of sweetness in there, some vanilla as it dries down, but it's really about this kind of lively, fresh, spicy, aromatic opening, good amount of lavender in here. So that's gonna give it a masculine, kind of soapy vibe to it, but it's still, being a sport, is something that you can wear during spring, summer, during the day when it's a little hotter outside. So super versatile, and a fragrance that is from a brand that everybody knows. So Prada, carries a little bit of cachet if that's important to you. Because I know a lot of people, when they get a Dior or they get a Chanel, part of getting that is like the name. It's like, oh, Chanel, Dior, the nice stuff. Prada is recognizable. So for people that's important, you got that too, for what that's worth. But yeah, really easy to wear, versatile, the type of scent profile that pretty much everybody's gonna like, and you really can't even overdose on this. Like if you spray it too much, it's not that type of scent profile that can be overly overwhelming, like Dior Sauvage can. So there we go, Luna Rossa Sport. That is today's video. Luna Rossa Sport 10 times. That is, that's my choices, so. Yep. Oh. I got some more stuff over here. We'll do some more. We'll do some more fragrances. How about one that I actually kind of don't really like a whole lot, but it would work? H24 Eau de Parfum. Now, as I said, I'm not in love with the H24 line. The Eau de Toilette is my least favorite. The Eau de Parfum, taking into account the whole fragrance opening into the dry down, I'd say is the best bet for most people. Now, H24 is like, in a way, Hermès' fragrance that would go up against Dior Sauvage. So it's made to have versatility. It's made to cross seasons. It has kind of like an aroma chemically vibe to it, which some people would say Dior Sauvage has an aroma chemically vibe to it. It opens up green and sweet. Actually, the opening to H24 Eau de Parfum, I do like. You have to enjoy green fragrances or not mind green vibes in your fragrances. So as long as you're okay with that, it might work for you. As it dries down, got oak moss in here, there's clary sage, some woody aspects to the scent as well. H24 also gets compared to the smell of like steamed clothing. It has like this kind of fuzziness, like a staticky kind of feel when you smell it. And for people who are tired of their Dior Sauvages, their Bleu de Chanels, but they still want something, again, from a known brand that's made to be worn, made with versatility in mind, but they want it to be a little more out of the norm, kind of, uniquely doing its own thing, this could be perfect. Or alternatively, you could smell it and absolutely hate it. That's a possibility. So I'd try it out first, just to be safe. Let's go with something different. We got a couple fresh ones over here. La Nuit de la Homme from Yves Saint Laurent. There's some people's heads out there just, that's not how you say it. So yeah, good old YSL La Nuit de la Homme. Everybody knows that one, the original Eau de Toilette. It is one of the most heralded date night fragrances in the designer realm, possibly ever. The Eau de Parfum gets frequently overlooked. Now, it does still have cardamom in here, so that aspect is intact. There's also grapefruit, lavender, leather, tonka, and sandalwood, among other notes as it dries down. It's got a little better staying power than the Eau de Toilette. Still not monstrously loud as far as projection goes, but it's good enough. And it is like a more mature take on La Nuit de l'Homme EDT. So I'm not saying that you would necessarily wear this in all the exact same times as you would wear Dior Sauvage, but there are a lot of people out there, a whole lot of people, and this is no shade toward them, there's nothing wrong with it, but there are a lot of people out there who would wear Dior Sauvage on a date night. And again, that is perfectly fine. If you wear Dior Sauvage on a date night, I'm not taking a shot at you. This stuff smells good. There's a reason that it sells so well. But if you wanted to switch it up a little bit, give yourself something a little bit different on an evening out, that would be a nice choice. And I have a few more fragrances in here along a similar thought process. You know what? Let's go Burberry Hero EDP. Now, Burberry Hero Eau de Toilette would probably be a better alternative if you're just looking for something that you could potentially wear year-round, like more of a daytime fragrance. I think Hero EDT is better suited for that. It's more fresh, woody fragrance, not, you know, overly sweet or anything like that. It would be a really good choice. It would be a really solid one. It does, you know, sometimes catch a stray here and there, but if we're just talking about like ease of use, compliment factor, all that, Hero EDT gets the job done. Now, if we're talking about the best overall Hero, probably the best one to own, I think that'd be this one. Now, I did recently, like a couple days ago, get in the new Hero Parfum Intense, which that one I like more than Parfum. It has much more of like a leathery aspect to it, but I think overall just the scent smells smoother, higher end, better quality, more interesting than the Parfum for me. But still, if we're saying, you know, something that you want in lieu of what we're talking about today, EDP still. So it has 3 types of cedar. That's really one of the big sticking points with Hero. It's, oh, cedar, there's a lot of cedar. It does smell nice though. There's also pine off the top, oliban and benzoin, and has like this light smokiness, a nice warmth to it. The woodiness here is nice, it's smooth, it's elegant even, and it has nice sweetness once again as well. So this is one of those fragrances that during fall, winter, early spring, or kind of evenings in general, just real easy to wear, smells actually really good. So there's 2 Eau de Parfum versions of fragrances in a row that are kind of more evening-esque. Let's go with something fresher again. Guilty Elixir. Now, I did think about, you know, keeping this Elixir free. Not that there's anything wrong with the fragrance named Elixir, that's not bad. It's just they are typically a little more expensive, and I was like, well, I don't know if I want to go crazy expensive with any of these, but I decided to go with it. So Guilty Elixir, as I just mentioned, it is expensive. It comes in the smaller size bottle, so you get less for what you pay for. And even though this has nice freshness to it, it packs a pretty good punch. So you can actually wear this fall and winter, might actually even be better in those seasons. Also during spring, you can pull this one off pretty easily. Summertime, it really depends on like how much you're spraying, where you're going, what you're doing, all that kind of stuff. It can work, you can still pull this off during summer, but if you go real heavy and you know, it's very heavy, high humidity, might, you know, not smell the best at that point. So summer, you can wear it with caveats. Now, in terms of notes, this has orange blossom, iris, nutmeg, osmanthus, amberfix, benzoin, and vanilla, and it actually smells a little bit similar to a couple of niche fragrances, Amouage Reflection Man, and also a little bit of Pegasus from Parfums de Marly. To me, of those two, it's a little bit closer to Reflection Man, but you could think of this as like taking those 2 fragrances and popping them into a blender, and then this comes out of the other end. So this is gonna be one for somebody who doesn't mind having a floral aspect at the forefront of the fragrance. It's probably gonna be for somebody looking for something that, yes, you can pull off casually, but you want the fragrance to smell a bit elevated, and you don't mind paying the marked up price. Okay, next up we're going Oud Noir from Versace. So similar kind of thing as these over here, these 2, it is more of an evening fragrance, more of a fall, wintertime fragrance, but it is just absolutely fantastic, in my opinion. One of my favorite designer oud fragrances ever. It's also not too terribly expensive, so that don't hurt. Yeah, kind of brings memories back. So this is an oud fragrance, and for a lot of people, you know, they're gonna hear oud and think that's not appealing enough. It's not mass appealing enough. But this does have a really interesting focus on spice. Fresh spice, warm spice, little sweet spice, cardamom, saffron, black pepper, being those spicy notes that it really focuses in on. It has a little bit of patchouli in there, kind of an incensey touch as well, and it plays in the same ballpark as Tom Ford's Oud Wood. So not the exact same as Oud Wood. Don't take that as me saying this is a one-to-one, that you can spray this on side by side with Oud Wood and, ooh, can't tell the difference. No, you can tell a difference, but you can also tell that this was maybe inspired by Oud Wood. Yeah, I think that's accurate, inspired. So do keep that in mind. If, like I said, you hear Oud and you think, well, could I really wear that? Yeah, man, easily. Fall, winter, during the evening, smells amazing, especially when it's cold outside. I mean, Tom Ford's Oud Wood has been a best-selling fragrance for years and years and years, not because it smells awful and you can't wear the stuff, but because it smells fantastic and people really like it. Ooh, go figure. So kind of like a discount vibe of that, but still with really good quality. So I was just talking Tom Ford, so I feel like I gotta put a Tom Ford in here, and one that matches the color scheme. So Noir, Noir Extreme. And with this one, we are keeping that fall, winter, evening vibe. So obviously the list is kind of split half and half. Some fresher ones, some warmer ones. I could have gone with just like 10 blue fragrances, but then if you're tired of wearing Bleu de Chanel and I'm like, hey, you could wear Dylan Blue instead, I mean, kind of defeats the purpose. So note breakdown. This one has cardamom, saffron, a little bit of citrus, nutmeg, coffee, vanilla, amber, and woods, and also some floral notes in there as it works through the mid. My bottle is dangerously low, unfortunately. Has pretty good performance, and this is one of those fragrances that if you smell it in a store, like off a tester strip, you might think to yourself, yeah, it's, you know, pretty unique, quite different. I mean, doesn't really smell like any other mainline designer out there, but how wearable is it? And I will tell you, surprisingly, extremely wearable. This is one of those fragrances that is a low-key compliment monster. One of those ones that you maybe smell for the very first time and you think, not sure. But you put that on with a suit or with a nice outfit, not fair at that point. I actually know people, friends of mine, who, a wife and husband, and the wife was looking for like the fragrance that she thought was like the creme de la creme, the best of the best. And it was for Christmas, I think it was. And she tried like everything under the sun and settled on that. And the husband, I'm not using their names because I don't know if they want me to, but the husband was just like, because he was like, this stuff does not, like this, how would this work? This doesn't work. Because he was like more of the mindset of, you know, Aqua de Jo, Dior Sauvage, Mont Blanc Explorer, stuff like that. You know, just like the easy peasy, lemon squeezy stuff. But no, she was like, this, wear it. Now, let's go Invictus next. Platinum. Now, typically, when it comes to this scent profile, I would bust out the old Bad Boy Cobalt, because Bad Boy Cobalt and Invictus Platinum do have some striking similarities. Smell a little bit similar. And really, you could pull off either one of those. Bad Boy Cobalt and Invictus Platinum, either one. This one is more versatile, like extremely versatile. Kind of one of those fragrances you can wear about whenever you want. In typical Rabanne fashion, it's pretty sweet. It's got a decent sweetness to it. But there's also an aromatic edge that kind of takes part of that sweetness and reins it back in a little bit. And that gives it more of the versatility. So you have absinthe as one of the notes in here, which is kind of odd, a little bit unique. Also grapefruit, mint, lavender, patchouli, and cypress. So again, little woodiness as it dries down, some of those aromatic notes that come through. Really solid longevity, lasts a long time, projects quite well also. And even though you would think, well, it's an Invictus, it's gonna lean really young. You know, like 25 and under, nobody else can pull this off. This one, I feel like pretty much anybody can wear it, so that's nice too. Kenzo up next, Santal Marin. Now, one thing I have to say about this, it does have that Kenzo Homme DNA to it, which if you have smelled pretty much any of the new Kenzo Homme fragrances that come in like this bottle style, then you know what I'm talking about. You can spray it on and just within 2 seconds be like, oh, yep, there it is. So that means a couple of things. It means if you love that scent profile, ooh, good news. You're gonna like this. But if you hate that scent profile, ooh, bad news. I don't think you're gonna like this very much. But I will say, that this one comes across easier to wear than most of the other ones in the Kenzo Homme line. Kenzo Homme Eau de Parfum gets a lot of love because of the leather in there and it's really strong. But if we're just talking straight up like versatility, this one is more versatile. Note breakdown, super simple and frankly boring, as aquatic notes, lavender, sandalwood, and gaiac wood. So not a whole lot to get your jimmies rustled when you see that. But it is a little smoother than most of the other Kenzo Homme fragrances. Really easy to wear, touch of sweetness in there. And the sandalwood kind of adds like a creamy woody aspect to that sea salty marine vibe that it has. I think it actually smells really good. One of the issues though, not always super duper easy to find in the US. Last but not least, Brioni Eau de Parfum Intense. So we're going back to
the dark side with this one.
Hence the Darth Vader black bottle. Opening is fantastic in this one. Fruity, sweet, ultra appealing. There's citrus, apple, also saffron and patchouli. Then as it dries down, oud, also a little vanilla. So the opening is a little fresh, a touch fresh, sweet, very sweet and appealing, kind of juicy as well, the way that it comes across. As it dries down, you've got that oud, but this is more just kind of a dark woodiness, little touch of like residual sweet spice, some vanilla as well. Really good longevity, nice projection, great quality. And this is another one of those ones that is a fragrance that you would wear if you want a little bit of a more elevated scent profile. So if you're just trying to come across, you know, very sexy, something that's more maybe alluring, then the La Nuit and the Hero over here are gonna work a little bit better for that. Also the Tom Ford. Tom Ford is kind of a mix. This one has a nice sweetness, but like I said, a little more elevated. So there we go, guys. There are 10 different fragrances that you can try out if you're sick of the Sauvage, but you still really want to keep that ease of use. You don't want to get something that's like just crazy funky just for the sake of it. You don't want to go from like one extreme to the other, right? I want to thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.